Good morning. Welcome to the news on New Day. We come to you live from the John Hammond Street at Kanda here in Accra. My name is Judith Brown. Headlines this morning. Police urges Occupy Bank of Ghana protesters to stay on agreed routes as a minority in parliament hits the streets today in demand of the resignation of the governor of the central bank. Also this morning, frustrated new voter ID card applicants race to secure their cards by the deadline. Also coming up, furloughs with renal conditions continue to pay revised dialysis costs of 765 cedis, despite Kolebu Teaching Hospital management's claim the fee was a proposal. And on the international front, former Nigerian oil minister appeared in court in London after being charged with receiving bribes in exchange for multi-million-dollar oil and gas contracts. Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. Well, in our first story, as the Occupy Bank of Ghana protest looks set to hit the streets of Accra this morning, the Ghana Police Service has reiterated that the minority in parliament and their supporting protesters will not be granted access to the premises of the Bank of Ghana. They emphasize that the area is designated as a security zone, adding that alternative routes and convergent points have been mutually agreed upon by both the police and the protest organizers.
The name of a protest does not necessarily determine the route of the protest. And as I mentioned earlier, the service has engaged extensively with the demonstrators, and this is the agreed route. This is the route that both parties have agreed on, and these are the routes that are going to be used. So from the locations I mentioned, that is going to be the exact places that the demonstration where it will begin, where they will pass through, and where they will terminate. That is what has been agreed upon, and that is what will follow tomorrow. So per the security assessment conducted by the police service, the Bank of Ghana is a security zone, and we've advised the organizers accordingly. And if they have any dissatisfaction with the police proposal to them, they are allowed to go to the court so that the court determines the matter. But we want to urge every member of the public who want to participate in tomorrow's demonstration to show up and be assured that we are adequately prepared to ensure their safety and security during the period of the protest.
Well, we'll be crossing over to our report on the ground quite shortly, but let's stay on this matter. And Member of Parliament for Baku Central, Mahama Yariga, is raising concerns about the accuracy of information provided in the police media briefing. Now, according to Yariga, there are inaccuracies in the details regarding the agreed-upon route and exit point for the protest. He asserts that they intend to adhere to the initially agreed-upon plan.
Well, we held some meetings. I was in the meeting, and we came to an understanding that we will stop at the runabout at the Supreme Court building. That is what I recall was agreed between us and the police. But listening to the police at their press conference, they said that we will turn at the national lotteries. That was not the agreement. The agreement was not for us to turn at the national lotteries. The agreement was for us to get to the runabout at the Supreme Court building and turn. So I can assure you that we are going to stick to the agreement that we had with them. I don't know who briefed the lady who read the press statement of the police, but she was wrongly briefed because we were clear in the meeting where we will turn and go back to the Independence Square. Let me give you the route. We will start from Kwame Nkrumah Circle to Adabraka, and then we'll turn left at Adabraka and pass through Asylum down. And then at the Ridge Hospital roundabout, we'll turn right. And then the National Theatre traffic lights, we'll turn left. We'll pass through the ministries, pass by the ministries police station. Then we'll pass in front of the court complex. And then we'll meet the Atamils Highway. Then we'll turn right and head towards the Bank of Ghana building. But we will not get to the Bank of Ghana building. We will stop at the roundabout before the old Parliament House. That is where we will turn. And so that is the agreement that we have.
Now let's stay on the issues of protests. And the Accra local unionized staff of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, have initiated a protest against the extension of the tenure of Director General Professor Amin Al-Hassan. Now the group wants the company to utilize funds for its 88th anniversary celebration to tackle its pressing challenges. Red flags have been hoisted at vantage points around the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation premises to signal the dissatisfaction of unionized staff over speculations on the extension of Director General Professor Amin Al-Hassan's tenure. Among complaints from the workers are inadequate working tools, poor studios, and inadequate medical care, which they claim contributed to the death of 2 staff members. Well, according to the group, the company plans to organize a cocktail party to celebrate its 88th anniversary despite facing challenges. They're seeking that the funds be allocated towards various challenges it faces. The Accra local unionized staff has decided to stay away from the cocktail party and is demanding that the Director General is not reinstated. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Accra. Now, the Ghana Water Company is facing a significant challenge due to criminal activity, particularly in the trial phase of automated systems designated to detect leaks and burst pipes. Now, the company is also experiencing recurrent theft of critical engineering components and solar panels. President of the Association of Ghana Water Company Limited Engineers, Richard Apia-Otu, at an inaugural conference in Accra, highlighted the issues and efforts to address them.
Ghana Water Company Limited is facing challenges such as water pollution from illegal gold mining, illegal connections, and transition losses. To address these issues, engineers are developing local solutions including automated technologies for real-time leak detection and pipe burst detection. However, persistent theft, particularly of essential components and solar panels, hinders the piloting of these systems.
So unfortunately, we as the engineers are putting measures and then scrap the let's go and cut even the metal fencing that protects some of these intelligence systems we place to really alert our company to be able to deliver world-class solution to you.
The Association of Ghana Water Company Limited Engineers inaugural conference will focus on assessing and addressing engineering challenges.
Engineers built the cars we all drove in this morning to this place. So what I'm saying is that the issues of non-revenue water, little leakages, should be something little for engineers to do once we come together.
And it's refreshing that we've all agreed today that henceforth principles of engineering will be applied in whatever that's going to do.
Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Engineers, Engineer David Nyante, urged Ghana Water Company engineers to explore innovative solutions beyond conventional methods.
The population is not static. Climate change is having an effect on us. And then there's innovation, there's technology. So aging infrastructure has to be continuously upgraded and improved upon and well maintained as well.
The conference is on the theme, Advancing the Role of Engineers in Ghana Water Company Limited for a sustainable future.
Now on to some more stories. And the voters' registration exercise ended yesterday, but some youth are pleading for an extension of the registration process. Now this is as a result of the huge numbers recorded at some centers, causing frustration among registrants. We were at the Electoral Commission's office in Accra, and here's a report. You can clearly see looks of frustration and tiredness. Now, this is the situation here on the premises of the Electoral Commission, where masses have gathered, some for hours since the start of day, just to get their voters' IDs. This is supposed to be the last day for the registration exercise, which has gone on for the past 21 days.
And people too are cheating. Like, if you are here before them, they'll just come and take over. I think they should extend their time because there are a lot of people who haven't done theirs.
People are bringing in protocols. People come, they say they are from here. So there is a lot of frustration. That is why the line is not moving.
The Electoral Commission's office is a registration center for applicants in the 5 Ayawaso constituencies. Some disparities in the process sparked up tensions. Clearly, many have found the process stressful, and there seems to be the continuous resistance from some party executives on the mode on which the exercise has been conducted.
The way the EC earmarked this particular exercise, it didn't favor the registrant. I mean the youth who are 18 years and above. You need to commute distance to this place. Especially we in Ayawaso, we are in the center of Greater Accra and a lot of traffic. So if somebody is coming to register, assuming from in-person, before he gets here, 2 hours is gone. You come and queue.
We're overwhelmed with the numbers. And most of the youth coming to don't have a lot of information about their biodata and even their common addresses.
The numbers here might seem overwhelming, but discussions with key executives here on the premises of the Electoral Commission suggest that these numbers are normal and they would be able to register them by end of day. Now, so whether or not there would be an extension of the voters' registration exercise, workers here say that they're yet to receive word from their authorities. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Electoral Commission, Accra. Well, we know now that the Electoral Commission will not be extending the date, but let's head to Kumasi on the same issue. And new voter ID card applicants were frustrated as they raced to secure their cards, fearing they wouldn't be able to vote in the 2024 general election if they didn't receive their cards by the deadline. Ibrahim Abubakar visited some of the registration centers on the last day of the limited voter registration exercise and has come through with the following report.
It's the last day of the limited voter registration exercise, and as usual, the various registration centers have been flooded with applicants. For most of these young people, the thought of being part of electing who becomes the next president of the country is something that makes them eager to secure the voter ID cards. But as the network started slowing down the process, frustration began to set in.
I was here around 6 a.m. and so now I've not been able to register. I feel frustrated because I've not even eaten and still I've not been able to register. I have to take part in the decision making of the country, and I would suggest that they extend the period so that each and everyone can register.
I really came here early, left whilst I was going out home, then rushed here. So I don't think when I'm not able to do it, I'll be happy about it.
I feel frustrated, and then like if I'm not able to register, I'm going to feel bad for it because I've been here for like 4 hours, like 3 to 4 hours now. I like 10 or 5 people doing the registration. They could have called many people to call and like help them register and do everything fast.
For most of these applicants, extending the registration is the only means of ensuring that no one is left out of the process. But the EC has earlier announced that it will not extend it. In the Ashanti region, about 139,000 applicants have so far registered and secured their voters' ID cards. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Now let's head back to the Occupy Bank of Ghana protest, and my colleague Mauna Ebeta is currently on the grounds. He's going to give us some updates. Mauna, good morning. Now, where exactly are you and what can you report?
The convergence point here at Obra Sport, the expectation is that within the next 2 hours, really, a lot more of these protesters will come around. But just behind me, you see in the shorts, police officials were already here. But if I take it up a bit forward, then you will see individuals already dealing in party paraphernalia and paraphernalia associated with protests of different kind. There are a number of the protesters who are a bit scattered across, but they began coming in their numbers as well. This is one of the protesters as well, who happens to be a man of God, but already some of the placards indicative of really what the feeling or the sentiment are like for a lot of these people. Stop corruption and thieving, stop pollution and contaminating our environment, Ghanaians are suffering, and the likes. Let me just perhaps pick just few thoughts from this individual who's well suited and find out exactly why they've left their homes to be here. Many thanks, sir. Give us your name and briefly talk to us why you've decided to be a part of this morning's protest.
I decided to participate in this because of the suffering of the Ghanaians in this country. The country is going back. We have to do something.
And you came suited? You're a pastor?
Yes. Sure.
You're a pastor from which church?
I'm a reverend minister. I'm members.
And your members are suffering, that's why you're here?
Everyone. If you can speak the truth to the power. Is it how Ghana is? Look to me. If this the situation before 2016, our president, our current president, will he have the guts to say they should vote for him? Look at our roads. Look at our traffic lights. Even there was a traffic light at our wish. We demonstrated for so many times before they come and fix it. And it is as I'm going to tell it. So what are we doing? We're supposed to participate and know and let the government know that the Ghanaians are suffering. That's how we do something. And there's another one at the back. Thank you very much.
Right then. So that's Reverend Jackson. He's a Reverend Minister as well. Just giving you a preview really as to what to expect. Different kinds of individuals, but just in your short as well, party paraphernalia and associated materials in relation to protests in this part of the country. We'll be here all throughout the day and provide a lot more details to you.
Right. Mauna, if you can tell us whether or not some of the leaders of the minority are there. I'm asking this because, of course, the police is asking them to use the agreed upon routes, and some of them are talking about some disparities within the routes agreed upon. Is there an indication as to whether or not they are going to use the agreed upon routes by the police?
Well, that continues to be the bone of contention in the lead up to this morning's protest. Yesterday, the police addressed a news conference where they reiterated the point that the precinct or the surroundings of the Bank of Ghana was a no-go area for these protesters. But the leadership of the minority continued to insist and make the argument and make it quite strongly that that is what they are expected or per the agreement with the police. It was a compromise they reached with the police to allow them at least get close and then make that turn around at the Bank of Ghana area and then head towards the Independence Square. There's no sign of the leadership of the minority just as yet, but from all indications, it appears this is not a compromise. The latest from the police is not what they are seeking to do.
Right. Thank you very much for your time. And that's my colleague Mauna Ebeta. He's on the ground and he's bringing us details. Of course, stay tuned to TV3. We have all the updates for you in our subsequent bulletins. But let's do some health stories now. And fellows with renal conditions are still paying the revised dialysis cost of 765 Ghana cedis, despite Kolebu Teaching Hospital management's insistence that the new fee was a proposal and only 5 people were asked to pay. Now, 14 fellows died during the cabin dialysis center shut down between May and September. And Emmanuel Samani reports.
With this proposed price, the annual cost of dialysis is going to shoot from 54,720 Ghana cedis to an unbearable cost of 110,000 160 Ghana cedis. That is if they are to increase the price to 765 Ghana cedis. Not forgetting the other huge costs embedded in the numerous lab tests every month, catheter and fistula fixing and replacement when needed.
He highlighted the multifaceted challenges faced by ESRD patients, which encompass physical, mental, emotional, and financial aspects. The financial strain on patients and their families has been worsened by the recent increase in dialysis costs. The cabin dialysis shutdown has resulted in the tragic loss of 14 lives among ESRD patients, exacerbating the collective fear of an unknown future.
Others lose their jobs and majority are unemployed. The high cost of ESRD already poses huge financial burden on us, the patients, and our families. Unfortunately, during this shutdown period, we have lost about 14 of our friends.
The group requested governments to waive import duties and taxes on dialysis consumables and machines and to revise National Health Insurance Scheme policies to cover or heavily subsidize dialysis costs. Emmanuel Samani, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, on the international front, a former Nigerian oil minister has appeared in court in London after being charged with receiving bribes in exchange for multi-million-dollar oil and gas contracts. Dezani Allison was Nigeria's Minister for Petroleum Resources between 2010 and 2015 during the tenure of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Britain's National Crime Agency said she had received various forms of rewards, including cash, luxury goods and holidays. The NCA said it had frozen assets worth millions of dollars related to the charges. Alison Madueke has denied the allegations and has been on bail since her arrest 8 years ago. And that's all for the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. And of course, Roland, Cookie, and Nashoko are with me in the studio for the rest of the day. Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Brown.
How
are you? Mrs. Brown.